What's going on, guys? Today we're going to be going over the 10 things you need to know before your first amateur boxing match.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble!
What's going on, guys? Today we're going to be covering the 10 things that you need to know before your first amateur boxing match. These are definitely things that I believe are going to help. If you're watching this, I'm going to assume that you're going into your first fight, you're thinking about going into your first fight, you're waiting on finding out if you're getting a fight, you're preparing for your first fight, something along the lines of your first fight. If that's the case, good luck to you, man. It takes a lot of nuts to do that, really. Not everybody could do it. It takes a lot of hard work, a lot of patience, a lot of dedication, and a lot of consistency to even just get to your first fight. So, congratulations on even getting this far. But I'm not really going to talk about what to do in the fight. Like, that's what your coach is for. For me, I've had the opportunity to work with a lot of fighters on their first fight. So I've gotten to see different things that these fighters do and go through, throughout the years. And even for me, I remember my first fight like it was yesterday. I've always said that I feel like every man should step in the ring or the cage at least one time in their life. Literally, you will view the world differently, bro. Every man needs to face that challenge of fighting another trained fighter at least once in their life. It will humble you. It will teach you a lot about life. And you will move forward absolutely differently moving forward from that, right? You look at combat differently. Once you've really experienced combat, you look at war, you look at combat, you look at everything differently. Honestly, it's really an adrenaline rush that's absolutely unexplainable and unmatchable and by any means. Your first fight is something that you're gonna live with for the rest of your life. With that being said, you can't just go in there throwing caution to the wind and just throwing and fighting. It don't work like that. In your first fight, a lot of the stuff that you learned in the gym is probably going to go out the window in your fight or flight, and your natural instincts are going to come into play. You will probably put to use maybe 50% of what you've learned in the gym throughout your whole training camp for this fight. But it is good to have a base and a solid foundation when it comes to this boxing stuff. However, everybody goes through this.
Round one.
All right, so number one, you are going to be nervous, right? And that's totally normal. Everybody gets nervous. Honestly, if you're not nervous in your first fight, I don't think your coach prepared you properly enough. You're probably not aware of the dangers, and you probably just got, I would think like you just got a bunch of yes men around you. Yeah, you're this good. Hell yeah, right? Like, even me as a coach, I have to tell fighters, hey man, this guy wants to fuck you up too. Real talk. He wants to kick your ass too. So don't think it's just going to be a cakewalk because you're all hyped and you're all excited to fight and this and that. You're going to be nervous. Your opponent is more than likely going to be just as nervous as you. So always keep that in mind. It's okay to be nervous. It's okay to be scared. I feel like everybody's different. I feel like in their first, I think it takes up to their 5 to 10 fights, in my opinion, is when you start getting over, or at least you're capable of dealing with the nervousness and dealing with the emotions of fighting, right? Going into it, you have to get used to it. It's like anything else. Whenever you do something new, whenever you do something different, you're gonna be nervous, you're gonna be scared. It's kind of hard, you're gonna get kind of tense. Like, it's okay to be nervous, it's okay to be scared. Now, you gotta control that. You gotta control that shit, but don't feel like everybody else is not feeling that. Like I said, I've had a lot of people in their first fights, and I remember the nerves. I remember the people just hugging me like, fuck dude, trying to make every excuse to be like, oh, what about this? I've had the guys who try to play it cool. I'm like, man, I'm cool, I ain't tripping, it's whatever, I'm laying like blah, blah, blah. And you gotta be honest, this is really when you talk to your coach like, hey coach, I'm nervous. And let your coach talk you through it. It's normal to feel emotions. It's normal to be nervous. It's normal to be scared. Every fighter, everybody in their first fight is gonna feel it. If anything, just accept it. Be like, oh fuck, okay, like every time I still get scared. I still get nervous when I fight, right? But when I fight, I just sit there and be like, fuck, dude, all right, well, I'm hella nervous, but hell yeah. All right, cool. Like, you accept it. Accept being nervous and just like, fuck it, I gotta do it anyway. You're gonna do it anyway. So try to be calm about it, as calm as you can about it, right? So number one, you're going to be nervous. Number two, you need to want to do this. Time and time again, I have worked with young fighters, young athletes, whose parents push them very hard, right? And you can see the disinterest in the kid. They don't want to do it. I've had parents try to push their kids to be fighters and this and that, and it just don't work. You have to want to do it. It don't work. And it's the same thing with going into your first fight. You have to want to do it. I've also seen coaches who keep pressuring the fighter, right, to go fight. It's a confidence thing. I mean, honestly, in my opinion, I think it's a confidence thing. If you don't feel like you're ready, don't fucking do it. Don't do it. Don't do something you don't want to do. That's dumb. Why would you do something you don't want to do? If you want to go fight, go fucking do it. You know what I'm saying? Let them hang and just go. But if it's your mom or your dad or your friends or anything outside of you wanting to do it, don't fucking do it. Don't do something you don't want to do, bro. I was about to end it, but let me add something. If you don't want to do this, honestly, when you go fight, your heart and your mind need to be into that fight. You need to be sold and just go all out. You need to be all in. You cannot go 1 foot in, 1 foot out. It don't work like that. You can get hurt. You can really get hurt. If you're not giving it everything, bro, come on. This is a fucking fight. You can get hurt, bro. If you don't want to do this, if your kid does not want to do this, if somebody's pressuring you or if you don't want to do this because your parents are telling you to do it, don't fucking do it, dude. Go talk to your parents, tell them straight up, hey, I don't want to do this. I don't feel like I'm ready. Now, you have to be able to differentiate being scared and not wanting to do something, though. Those are two different things. If you don't want to do it just because you don't want to do it, being scared, but you want to do it. You like fighting, you like boxing, all this and that, but you're afraid. That's another thing that you need to go talk to your coach about. Hey, look, you know, blah, blah, blah. This is how I'm feeling. This is blah, blah. It's not fucking weird. You need to go talk to your coach. Your coach needs to know everything. Hey, these are the emotions. This is what I'm dealing with. It can really affect the fight.
Round 3.
By no means are these in any specific order of importance. I'm literally just reading them down in the order I wrote them. Number 3. This is important because I've seen a lot of people fuck up everything and ruin everybody's day over this. Number 3, get the paperwork done ahead of time. Yeah, dude, get the paperwork done ahead of time. Again, time and time, I have seen fighters who, you know, they I didn't get my physical done a week before their fight. The guys who aren't paying for their books until the couple of days before their fight. I didn't get this certification, whatever little bullshit you got to get. Get it all done ahead of time. This should not, like, you should not be wasting any type of mental energy on anything but the fight. Last thing you need to be fucking worrying about is, I gotta go get a physical a week before the fight. Now you got to cut into your training time. Now you cutting into your regular schedule and this and that. It's, bro, get it done. Because my coach is a referee, and I know how much of a hard ass he is. He's not going to let that shit fly. If there's anything not in order on your paperwork or not done in online or on time with your paperwork, he's not going to let it fly. You're not fighting. So get this done ahead of time. Don't waste the mental energy on trying to get this stuff done a little bit before. I've done it. Trying to rush before a fight and I gotta go take this passport photo. I gotta go do this. I gotta go pick up my book. I gotta go do this. Right? And that's another thing. When you order your book, how you should have your book way ahead of time. Have all this stuff done and ready to go ahead of time. Be on weight ahead of time. To me, when I say I'm gonna make this weight and then my opponent doesn't make weight, I feel like that's a direct slap in my face. That's to me and my coach. And be on weight ahead of time. Do not be trying to cut the weight the night before the fight. That's stupid. You should be resting, which is a whole nother one on this. Like, you should be resting as much as possible. This is just my opinions, to each their own. But the way I teach my guys is don't cut the weight right before the fight. Cut the weight, a week or two before the fight. Get used to being around that weight class and moving around. Even if you're just keeping it light when you're in the gym, the week of the fight, you're already on weight the week before the fight, but you're just moving around. It's not like you're sparring or anything. You're just shadow. This is the way I have my guy. I just have them shadow boxing, touching the bags. That's it. Nothing crazy, no heavy work, but I want them to get used to moving at that weight. Because usually when you're on weight, when you make weight ahead of time, or honestly, when you just make weight, for me personally, and you're not draining yourself, you feel solid. You feel absolutely rock solid. So, that's a good feeling before going into the fight, especially your first fight. So be on weight ahead of time. Be a man of your word. If you say you're going to do something, do it. All right. What you eat after you weigh in matters. Don't be stupid. I say this because I had a guy who I got him for his second fight. And, he kind of told me what happened leading up to his first fight. So we were out in Hayward, California, and the fight was in Sacramento, California. This fighter, I'm not going to say his name, this fighter drove from Hayward to Sacramento the day of his fight. He drove himself to his own fight, right? Strike one. He weighed in and did everything by himself, strike two, in my opinion. Or after weighing in and making weigh-ins, he went and got a burrito and a quesadilla. Like his coach told him to go get a burrito and a quesadilla to recover. That's strike three. Like the burrito and quesadilla made this guy feel groggy. He didn't feel like himself after the fight. All that grease, all that heavy food. You don't need all that. You don't need to eat heavy. It means, yes, kind of dibble and dabble with it. You're going to have to find what works for you, really. I'll have them go get a fresh squeezed juice, have them take a multivitamin, chill for a little bit. Then we'll go get some chicken Alfredo. And then I have them take a nap, and then I have them just chill, right? And between that, after they wake up from their nap, which is probably going to be another one on this, resting and taking naps and stuff. This right here is where I see 75% of people messing up and losing their fights right here. Is they lose the fight right before the fight by not resting as much as possible. I know that you're feeling the adrenaline rush and that you're nervous and it's your first fight and you just want to go and get it over with. So you're walking around, you're at the amateur event. There's a lot of things going on. You need to rest as much as you possibly can. You do not need to be in the mix. You do not need to be hanging out with your coach the whole time. You don't need to be having conversations with the other fighters and the referees and this and that. You don't need to be socializing. You're about to fight somebody. All right. So last thing I want to do is be in a social mood when I'm sitting here about to whoop somebody's ass. Yeah, man. So I think you really need to stay out of the mix, stay away from everybody else. Don't be socializing. Go find a corner that you can go sit in by yourself. Put your earphones in, listen to music. Don't be on social media. Stay away from social media. Sit in the corner and chill as much as possible. You do not need to be wasting no energy. You need to be chilling. You don't need to be wasting no energy, right? So you need to be sitting in the corner and resting as much as possible. You're wasting energy that you could be using for the fight. I've seen a lot of fighters mess this up because they're nervous or because their friends are there, because they know people and their family's there and this and that. Hey, you're about to fight. If your family doesn't understand that you don't want to talk to nobody right now, then they should not be at the fucking fights. All right? Go and rest as much as possible. Spend as much time as you can by yourself and rest as much as possible. All right. So, amateur boxing matches are scored on a point system, right? Again, I have a little bit more insight on this one just because my coach is a referee who's very active in, being a referee. He damn near referees every other weekend. He's had a lot of fights. So, one thing I learned from him is it's not about going in there and being the tough guy and knocking this guy out and this and that. Chances are that you are not going to knock this guy out in your first fight, right? Plenty of times where I've seen a lot of people in the crowd, a lot of coaches, a lot of even fighters themselves getting angry and mad and arguing with the referees or disagreeing with the judges. Not understanding that amateur boxing is based on a point system. It's about points. If you go to the Olympics, it's literally Olympic style boxing. It's points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Points. It's about the white part of the glove that you're wearing. If it hits, that's a point. The name of the game is hit and don't get hit. Now, we can go into a whole rabbit hole about amateur boxing, scoring and all this stuff, right? But this is the reality of it. It's scored on a point system, so you need to be scoring points. Don't give it too much weight. In other words, don't overthink it. It's pretty simple. I know that your first fight can be very scary. I know that, honestly, you're gonna tense up. Your muscles are gonna lock up. You're gonna be scared. You're gonna be nervous, and you're not gonna want to do it. You're gonna want to, honestly, you're gonna want to bitch out, and and you're gonna want to find any reason to be like, oh, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. But you gotta do it. You gotta do it. You gotta let it hang, bro. If you said you was gonna do it, you gotta do it. Like, you need to be nonchalant about the shit. Like, man, I don't give a fuck. Whatever. I'm about to go fight. Yeah, I'm hella nervous. Oh, whatever. That's the way I think of it. And I've had to be like, you know what, dude, I'm hella nervous. Yes, I'm kind of scared right now, but fuck it, bro. Fuck it. Whatever. Let's go. I'm going to do it anyway. Let's go. That's how you need to think about it. Don't overthink it, man. Just go out there, do your thing. You wouldn't have signed up if you didn't feel like you was ready. Your coach wouldn't have you in there if you didn't feel like you were ready. And honestly, God wouldn't put you in this position if he didn't feel like you were ready. Every man needs to overcome this challenge in their life. That's my opinion. I feel like every man needs to overcome this challenge at least once in their lifetime. Don't overthink it. Just go after it. Let your nuts hang and just make it happen, man. Fight your fight. I think this is a big one just because a lot of times you're so scared, you're so nervous, and generally speaking, you're dealing with so many emotions in this first fight that you kind of just react to what's going on. You got to remember that your opponent is dealing with the same exact thing, right? This is probably their first fight. You need to take control. You need to take control. Don't sit there and just react to what he's doing and wait for somebody else to throw a punch. Take control. You fight your fight. Make them do what you want them to do. You know what I'm saying? If you're a boxer, you want to make them come to you, make them draw them in, stay on that back foot. If you're a forward pressure fighter, then you need to be moving your head and putting that pressure on there, right? You need to make them do what you want them to do. You need to fight your fight. Again, I don't really remember what number we're on, but ultimately, man, just go have some fun. This is an experience that you are going to remember for the rest of your life. You only get one first fight. So go and really, if you're going to do it right now. Real talk. Just, if you're going to do it right. Give it everything you got and don't look back. You know what I'm saying? You can rest tomorrow. You can rest after the fight. But you only get one opportunity you never get this again. You only get one first fight. Make it a memorable first fight. Go out there and kick some ass.